Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Duchess. Oh, she did. She went there. But before I explain who's gone where and how, welcome to all my new subscribers to the channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already to help this channel grow and to be seen by more people. So today, Meghan's interview with New York magazine The Cut was released. And before I delve into the interview itself and provide my thoughts for what they're worth, let's just take a look at a couple of things. Now, I was talking with a friend recently and we were discussing how Meghan only really has 4 bent, dog-eared cards that she likes to play. The racism card, mental health, as a mother, and the victim card. She seems to have these on some sort of rotation system, but this interview has the whole shebang. Now, as we know, it's all about optics with Meghan and how she is perceived by the masses. So back to the interview and Exhibit A, the cover photo. Now, at first glance, it's a very striking, powerful image of a strong, independent woman. Until you put it side by side with this shot of Elizabeth Holmes, the American former entrepreneur convicted of criminal fraud, or even with her late mother-in-law, Diana, Princess of Wales. Meghan's obsession with Diana is well known and very well documented, so to emulate one of Diana's most iconic looks just 3 days before the 25th anniversary of her tragic death is not surprising to me or to anyone in the least. The Cut hails Meghan as their cover star, and that's true, she is. But as this post on Reddit states, Meghan the Stallion was on the front cover, whilst Meghan Markle was relegated to the back. Second row royal vibes, anyone? The photo, as always, heavily photoshopped, and the freckles that she's so consistently hidden over the years are now taking a more prominent role. The interview is pretty much made up with sycophantic, ass-kissing gush, and the first 3 letters of the interview are laughable in itself. Meghan of Montecito. What, so now she's no longer the Duchess of Sussex, and she's now more like Jenny from the block? She did that recently with her podcast as well, and simply went by Meghan. Please, if you stay until the very end of that podcast, it clearly credits her as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And even The Cut get in on that act. They edited their initial tweet promoting the interview to include the words Duchess of Sussex after Meghan's name. Speculation is rife that this sudden change is either to pave the way for her to have a career in politics where she's unable to use any form of royal title, or it's part of the devaluation process of Harry. He's no longer of any use to her, so this is her sending a clear message that she's moving on. The interview starts off by mentioning a cute interaction between Archie and Meghan, so already trying to win over the female demographic with the mother card. She had to get that one in early, didn't she? It then launches straight into the apocalyptic revelation that Meghan is reactivating her Instagram account. This isn't breaking news. It's not even news. It is but a fart in the wind, mildly annoying and gets up your nose for all of 2 seconds and then is very soon forgotten about. Please check out my previous video if you want to hear my thoughts on this bombshell revelation. Meghan soon launches into her favourite pastime of taking veiled swipes and cheap shots at the British monarchy. This time it was about how she didn't realise how difficult it would be to give up her Instagram lifestyle blog, The Tig. She was added to the At Kensington Royal account alongside William, Catherine and Harry, but struggled with the reality once it dawned that she would have no control over what was posted and when. She also moaned how she was no longer able to open her own post and rehashed the old story of having her passport confiscated. It wasn't confiscated as such, it was simply held in the royal safe under strict security just like every other member of the royal family, and her passport was released into the care of her personal assistants prior to every one of her trips to Australia, South Africa, Canada, New York, Italy and Malta as well, I believe. As for Meghan not being able to open her own post, well, that's a no-brainer right there. Every single piece of mail sent to the palace is most likely screened and triple-checked to ensure that nothing sinister or harmful gets through. Does anyone out there need a job? Because I would literally pay someone to open my mail. It's one of the most tedious ever chores. On behalf of the palace, I would like to apologise to Meghan that her fan mail clearly didn't get through to her. Or maybe she just didn't receive any in the first place. And then, she went there. We've seen it all before in various interviews, most notably the Oprah interview. Well, here we are again, back at the racist card, and once again, it's being shown to the British media. A bit rich, given all the chaos she's caused in the last week through her first podcast episode, where she managed to offend and pee off the proud nation of South Africa by revealing that going to South Africa was the bravest thing she's ever done. No, love. I think going back to South Africa from now on will be the bravest thing you ever do. It's been brilliant to see the nation of South Africa standing up and clapping back and defending themselves with the hashtag #VutsekMeghan movement. I'm sorry to all my South African followers if I've pronounced that wrong. It's something I wish us Brits could have done, but the reality was that millions of people worldwide were just so taken in by her lies in the Oprah interview, portraying us as racist haters, that no matter how hard we tried to fight back and defend ourselves, we simply couldn't break through all of the crap. Meghan has even caused division amongst South Africans themselves, with some claiming that anyone who supports the hashtag movement are not real South Africans. My. It's been vindicating to see a fair few tweets coming out of South Africa over the past week, with many supporting the Brits and apologising to us for believing Meghan over us. Anyway, I digress. So, clearly, her first attempt at labelling the British as racist, although hugely damaging, probably didn't cause nearly enough impact, so now she's come back for seconds. She's now actually gone and accused the British media of calling her ginger children the N-word. Well, I tell you now, I have never, and I mean never, seen or heard that word used within the British media towards anyone, and certainly not towards Meghan Markle. Now, I admit I'm defensive of our treasured royal family, but my loyalty is most certainly not blind. If I'd ever seen or heard that disgusting word used in any form of media, television, radio, or in print, I would most likely have been in full support of Meghan after leaving the royal family and then going on to trash them and the British media in the Oprah interview. The N-word, let me tell you, is genuinely not used in the UK anyway. It's more of an American slang term to us. Now, I'm not so naive as to say that we don't have racists here in Britain. I'm certain we do. But thankfully, they are very much in the minority. A big point to note at this juncture, though, is if the children have been called the N-word, then that is totally abhorrent, and I do not condone that in any way, shape or form. I honestly do not believe it has ever happened. Because believe me, we'd have all heard about this long ago. And it also begs the question, if it in fact actually did happen, then why was Meghan so quick to release a photo of her young daughter to the press after the Jubilee? It honestly doesn't make any sense to me at all. My jaw has totally hit the floor with this one. I haven't yet seen any of the psychotic ramblings from the Sussex squad off the back of this, but I guarantee there will be, and more than a few by now. And they, and Meghan, will be dining out on this new stirring up of racial divide and hatred for some time to come. After this delicious morsel of what can only be described as, and I apologise for the word I'm about to use, utter bullshit, Meghan quickly moves on to inevitably bring the conversation back round to herself, where she plugs her Archetypes podcast. The article moves on to talk about Meghan's journey from deal or no deal briefcase girl to princess. Please, this wasn't a fairy tale story. I don't ever remember Cinderella peeing in the bushes in Botswana or supplementing her income on yachts. The mental health card then gets an airing at this point, where Meghan once again hammers home the point that she left the royal family and the UK because she felt unsupported with her declining mental health. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that she had any mental health issues at that time. She may well did. I can't imagine how difficult it was for her to marry into the most famous royal family in the world. But I do find it inconceivable that there was absolutely no help available or that the palace was unwilling to help. Harry himself said in the Oprah interview that he never mentioned Meghan's mental health to anyone as he was embarrassed. He's long been vocal about his own mental health struggles and credited William with helping him through it, not forgetting that Harry, Catherine and William all founded the Heads Together mental health charity. Harry would have had access to some of the top doctors and physicians in the world, so if he didn't want to go officially through the palace channels, he would very easily have been able to seek help independently and privately. The fact he never did speaks volumes. So the next cab off the rank was sent in Prince Charles's direction, and about how he cut Harry off financially. And her too, if you think about it. No more extravagant wardrobe pieces off the back of our taxpayers' money, thank you very much. This claim was proved to be false, as it was revealed that Charles had sent them around $4 million since they fled to Canada and then on to America. The article then changes tack and goes on to glorify the famed $14.65 million Monty Shitshow mansion with its olive grove, pool house and chicken coop. And then suddenly, true to form, Harry, or her love, just happens to pop in, just like he did outside the window in the hilarious 40 by 40 initiative sketch, and most recently in the first episode of Meghan's podcast, where he suddenly appeared to tell Serena Williams that he loves her hair and that it's a great vibe. Cringe. She had to get the royal connection in there somehow though, as we all know, just like she knows. Meghan simply does not have enough clout without her beloved H. Now I'm skipping ahead in the article now as, quite frankly, I'm getting bored talking about them. But there was a brief titter of laughter from myself when I read the part that the Sharkles are trying to teach Archie manners. Hilarious when you think about it, really. How are those poor kids ever to learn any manners when their parents are two of the most entitled, spoiled, rudest individuals imaginable? A few more paragraphs follow where we are once again treated to moaning and whinging about how hard life was in the royal family and how it wasn't fair that they couldn't be half in and half out of the monarchy, and how the reason she was treated so unfairly was because she was a divorced black woman. Finishing off, and we're back to hearing about Meghan and her bloody podcast once again. Once more, it is all about finally being able to use her voice. Not that she ever stopped. Bot Sentinel even managed to get a plug, and another potshot was taken at Thomas Markle Sr. for not attending the royal wedding, and essentially causing the rift between him and his daughter. The British media get one final parting shot, in that they've apparently been the catalyst in destroying two families. Now, I'm not saying they definitely haven't helped matters, but fundamentally I think Harry and his wife need to stop all the projection and focus on fixing the glaringly obvious flaws within themselves before blaming others. The final paragraph or so has Meghan bleating that it takes a lot of energy to forgive and a lot of energy not to, and how she's made a really active effort. Yeah, as I said before, utter bullshit. So I'm going to call it there, guys. It's nearly 1:30 a.m. now, and it'll probably be nearer 3 a.m. when this is edited and uploaded. There are plenty of other videos on this subject, should you wish to check them out. The Jesus Enrique Rosas body language guy provides a real in-depth analysis, as only he can. Don't forget that episode 2 of Archetypes will drop at some point today. This week, the special guest is Mariah Carey, and together they'll be talking about the word diva. Ooh, I sense a potential clash of egos here. I wonder how much Meghan will let her talk without steering the conversation back to herself. And I wonder which country she'll offend this week. I'll be listening to it and providing my thoughts, so you don't have to. So for now at least, take care, and I'll catch up with you all very soon. Bye for now.